Marlon Bailey here on the set of Savvy Singers TV. And at this time, we are shedding some light on what is happening in our Caribbean islands, especially St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we stand with them going through the effects of the volcano. And you're wondering, how can I be a support? How can I help? How can I be a part of what is happening, the initiative? And the question is there another cause? And the response to that is, yes, it is. Today on the set, I have big sister, my friend, Avonelle Hector-Joseph, the founder of Is There Another Cause, you know, sitting here with us, letting us know, one of the persons that is on the ground all the time, making sure that relief is coming. So how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Lately I've been processing that anytime you are on the end where you have the ability to help,
yes,
and to give, and you're not the one that's on the receiving end, even if you're on the receiving end, it's sanctuary. But in this perspective, as hard as it is, the one who's given needs to be very thankful and not focus on the discomfort involved in the giving.
Yes, yes, and there's so many discomforts.
Yes,
you know,
there is.
There's a lot of sacrifices,
Yes.
a lot of things that you have to put aside. You have been doing this for how long now?
Well, it's my lifestyle from my
it.
mom because, you know, I was growing up, I didn't like what she was doing. I didn't understand what she was doing because in my mind, we were already poor. We didn't have what you're trying to save the world. God have a sense of humor. But officially within the capacity of ITNAC, this will be our 19th year.
Wow.
We kind of like, it's kind of hard to say if it's March or May. March, we would have made March 2002. We would have made the first call, and our first event was May 2002. So this is our 19th year of partnering, we say, yes, to make a difference, one life at a time.
One life at a time. And you have been on the ground, and we want to zero in right now with what is happening in St. Vincent. And what I love is that you've been monitoring this even before it happened.
Yeah, that's important. If you want to respond appropriately in any circumstance, if it's in a relationship, if it's in your business, if it's in our role as Relief and Development Agency, we keep a tab on what's happening, what's developing in the world. There's some disasters, like, for example, the earthquake in Haiti.
Yes.
There might have been some little signs, whatever, but by and large, it just came. The volcano is different. So we are in April, mid-April 2021. Since December, they were kind of looking at it, maybe even before, but we were appraised of it in December 2020.
Right.
And we were monitoring it. It kind of like got a little bit, and we are glad we didn't become too jaded or indifferent, but he wasn't hearing anything. It was just kind of thing. January, okay. February, okay. March started to increase, and by the 30th of March, we had missed like a week or so of communication with our partner, and then she said, they said it's going to happen any minute now.
Wow.
And we just immediately left where we were around the Queen's Park Savannah, headed to base. You know, there are certain supplies that we would have as an organization for relief. We began to put as much as we could together. And we also for St. Vincent and St. Lucia, because at that time we were looking at St. Lucia as being under threat, being the same volcano. So we didn't get a boat until like a couple of days ago for St. Lucia. So that's, we had a two-week wait between the 30th of March and when we sent it out mid-April.
Right.
But we immediately began to get things together, send them out. We labeled St. Lucia, labeled St. Vincent. Next day we were on the port. First shipment out. Second shipment the week before, the week after. And on the morning, the boat would have left Trinidad on Thursday. We were just praying, God, please let it reach. Don't let it be no tsunami or nothing to shut down.
Yes.
And by the Friday morning, by the time the news broke, and people were now beginning to rally support, all glory and honor be to God, ITNAC's second set of supplies was already in the country, including the 1,000-gallon tank. So we were ahead of a game. Looking back, I would have, if I had to do it all over again, what I would have liked to do, I would have sent a lot more water because it was possible, like, you know, like about 10 pallets or something extra of water to have that, because we did have a lull between when that, because once the things began to happen, what we sent up and, you know, it just went through like that. And our tanks did not reach in time to be filled.
All right.
So, you know, looking back, it's always better in disaster preparedness to be over-prepared.
Right.
Right? And for us, if you send too much food to a place and there's an economic challenge anyway, the food is not going to waste. We have trusted partners, they're going to get it to people, and somebody's going to have a meal.
Yes. Avi, big sister, always on the ground, always making a
but
difference.
I was hoping that, you know,
the
Prime Minister would allow me to leave the country. come back. Cause we really, a couple of us, we really want to go. We're ready to go.
Because I know you're hands-on. You know, you want to be in the mix, make sure that everything happens how it's.
But you
who's
know,
supposed to get stuff?
And that is what we thank God for. We always seek out partners with integrity, and the Harrys, through the Nazarene Compassion Outreach Ministries, that's their social arm. They have been doing an amazing job. I mean, those people, they carry the heart of God. We feel a kindred spirit. Yeah. They had their 16th anniversary on Thursday. Yesterday was Friday. And they went out to do everything they've been doing, even on their anniversary. They were on the port. They were at the shelters, you know, at the distribution center. So, and they are giving us real-time reports. So we trust the integrity of the process. So even though we cannot be there with them physically, we know that they are carrying out the desires that we have and what we can communicate to our partners, because there's a lot of trust. The people who give to us, they are trusting us. Yes. And then we give to them, we have to trust them to deliver to the person. It's a multi-level relationship. I don't want to say multi-level because levels mean something, but there's a lot of things interlapping in the relationship. Yes,
there's a lot of moving parts to get it going.
That's it.
Yeah. Give us an insight of because you're getting your daily reports.
Yes.
Because we hear the volcano, we the ash. Yes, so we see some footage and that kind of thing. What actually is happening?
Well, normally, if I was doing if a disaster happened in a country, and I went on somebody's show or doing a Facebook Live, I'd say, you know, a week ago, there was an eruption. People are in shelters. We're trying to see how fast we can move people out of shelters back into their lives. You know, the textbook scenario for disaster response. This volcano is no textbook disaster. Wow. Unfortunately, the scientists would have said, thank God our eyes are on God and we're trusting his report, but they've misread it. And this is just the beginning.
What?
Yep. So think of all that you've seen, the destruction of houses, the ash, the I can never pronounce the pyroclastic or whatever the word is, flow, and all of those things. And they're saying to us, this is just the beginning. So what we were hoping for is within every time there's an eruption, you want to believe God that is it, and then things are going to taper and we can begin a different trajectory towards moving people out of shelters, assessing damage and moving people on. It is evolving, it is very fluid. So how do you treat with a disaster that has not happened but is still happening?
Wow.
So it's a very complex thing, but we really pray for our partners on the ground in St. Vincent that they will not become weary and that we can even go alongside them to hold their hands.
Yes.
You know, we thank God that our government would have allowed some of the soldiers to go there and to be of help. And, you know, whatever help we can give as a Caribbean people, we are one people. That's we have a shared history. Our ancestors came on a boat, tied like hogs. They threw some Bahamas, they threw some Jamaica, Antigua, wherever.
Yes.
Trinidad, St. Vincent.
Yes.
So we need to deal with that kind of insular kind of mindset. Who better with that? This is our struggle. This is our battle as a Caribbean people. And it's appropriate that we respond. It's appropriate that we try to understand. You can never really understand as a Caribbean, not in it. But because of the technology and the visuals, you can really take the time out to put yourself in that place, to understand the culture of the community. What does the house mean to a Vincentian? Same way, like, I have to understand as an Afro-Trinidadian, what is the education of an East Indian person for their child, what it means, and the sacrifice that they are willing to make that. So the Bible says to deal with people according to wisdom. When we understand when people and how they and their own makeup, we respond. A Vinci person house is very important. You go to St. Vincent and you will see a big house. For example, Barbados have very small houses traditionally, the chattel houses, but you're going to see a lot of big houses in St. Vincent. People might be poor, but that is a sense of accomplishment for them. They take pride in their houses. And they have worked their lives, and a lot of people house gone. Their villages, what they've known all their life, will not be that anymore. People might move on, go to other communities. The economic, the socio-economic impact, the psychological impact, everything, you know, it's just a disaster on many different levels. And it's not, so you are in a shelter, and you have no idea when you might be able to go home.
That's right.
So, you know, you put it, so whatever it is that you can do as a citizen, a bottle of water, $20, 20,000, 200,000.
Come on, man.
It's going to make a difference.
That's right. That's right. And we here at the Savvy Singers TV and the community of PRVM, you know, partnering with Is There Not a Cause, AVI, you know, we urge you, just like what she said, whatever you can, and we will make make it clear the numbers, the accounts.
Yes, we bank
all
with
right?
Republic Bank, First Citizens Bank in Trinidad, and all of the accounts are in the name of the organization. Is there not a cause? If you are overseas, we have spoken with our sister Shelley, and PRVM will facilitate through their PayPal and their Cash App. I don't want to put too many different things in the mix to confuse people, and they will remit the funds to us as they've done in their past support. So we also want to say thanks, because, you know, we could not do this by ourselves. You know, an organization like us, treading in this path for 19 years, it just speaks to the power of partnership. When the collectives come together, what we are able to do. You know, I remember just 2016, not even the earthquake, because that was another massive thing, but 2016 when Matthew hit a lot of islands, but our focus was on Haiti. Just in that small thing, we did like 8 or 10 40-foot containers. And it was because people saw what we were doing and they wanted to be a part. So one thing we do is that we facilitate, because, you know, I might be home watching my TV, I was like, oh, I feel sad. I can't just pick up a case of water and just fling it to St. Vincent.
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to just give it to any random person, but we provide a trust relationship where we will be the vehicle or the medium that people can make a difference and feel that, you know, I'm connecting with the suffering of my Caribbean brothers, because there is a cause.
There is a cause. And the organization, as you talk about trust, the organization have been recognized, all right, even from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Humanitarian Award, all right, and just recently GMAT, you know, the Resilience Award. Yeah, so trusted is ITNAC. You know, Avi, I remember, you know, years, you have been on these lines, I think it's even more than 2019. You know, I remember the days of you, at that point in time, you were really hitting to India a lot. Yeah.
India was a challenge, you know? India was a challenge. You know, I'm a toughie.
Yes.
But India made me consider, I said, God, I remember crying. Thank God Christmas Day, because what I try to do, because our lives are so different as a couple. We have to guard our marriage. We have to guard our experiences, and we don't grow apart. Because he's Homer Simpson. He likes to be home, and I like to be everywhere. And I'm always careful that when I'm going into new spaces, new experiences. So, for example, I wish he was here today, so that we can always have things to connect with. So, my first trip to India, every time I'm going, every country I've been through, with few exceptions, he has been there with me at least once. So he knows the people, he knows the space. If he's home, I'm talking to him, he has an idea of the bedrooms, I mean, the streets I'm walking in. And he went to India with me, and thank God he was there. I remember saying to myself, God, I don't think I called to this, because it was so hard, you know, it was hot. We were driving sometimes 12 hours from the airport where we landed to the villages. We had 3-4 services a day. The people, the hunger for God, I mean, they were just making a demand on the grace. The people, they just wanted God. And I remember one time saying, okay, we're tired. On one of the trips, I said, let's go a little bit late. So when we get there, you know, because they sing long, we take extra time to catch ourselves. When we get there, we could go into the preaching. Well, they sing before we come. When they see us come, they start back a whole new song service. Well, that's the level of hunger. And but it's also impacted my faith. And, you know, I use the word guilty. Theologians, I know we don't carry guilt as Christians. Just allow me, please. But I felt guilty. I remember being there in 2008, because I've been to India 4 times. And experiencing the level of persecution that my brethren were going through there. And saying to myself, God, will I still serve you if I was going through this?
Wow.
And, you know, I wish I could remember the people's name, because, you know, I feel like if 35 US a month made such a difference in their life while we were supporting them. I remember one of the pastors, he has spinal injuries, bad headaches, like his head is cracking, because they arrested him just for the simple sin of preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so they had him in a police station. Every shift that came on, they took a chance beating at him. Jesus. I remember his sister, she traveled all the way, how many hours to meet us that time. And so we did his particular meeting as if it was a birthday party, put up all the decorations and stuff. And then we had to actually literally run out of there when we heard the police were coming, because honest to God, I don't mind suffering for Jesus, but I prefer not to be arrested. Don't judge me. And so she came and she was crying, and she said to me, I mean, I was recalling her, and like, I was like, in another word, she said, you know, we count it such an honor to suffer for Jesus. And I was like, okay. Because see, our Western concept of Christianity, I'm too anointed to be blessed, and too stressed to be this, and all these different things, and all these cute things that we say. It doesn't fit into the construct. That's a very biblical construct. All who live godly will suffer persecution. See, we can't hear because, you know, we go to church, I mean, we were in these buildings, people just crunch up. I'm not talking about prosperity. Money answered all things. But if we didn't have money coming, we wouldn't be able to sell out all these sons of things. But beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health as your soul prosper. So there's a place for your soul prosperity. If your whole focus is just about your pocket, you're going to end up in hell a rich sinner. So that's for another time. So I was there in that moment just thinking about this man and much licks he got, and his wife was pregnant and all the different stuff, and we had to send money to bail. And his sister was there crying and thanking God for the privilege of suffering for him. And God, she's like, she going off in this prayer. I can remember we were in a little bedroom. They hardly had anything in the bedroom. They had a wardrobe. You know, they always keep the houses very clean. You know, a wardrobe, a bureau, whatever you want to call it. And she was there crying and wiping her face, saying, you know, God has chosen us to suffer. And I'm like, what are you saying, girlfriend? Is you mad? Is you mad? You come to a privilege not to get a doctorate, not to get a PhD, not to have a Mercedes-Benz and those things. God has favored us to suffer for him. Listen, my Western Christianity was flipping. It was doing somersaults. Like, these people are aliens. But I felt convicted, and it pierced to the very heart of my being. 13 years later, I feel as if that sister is still talking to me, Avonelle. It's like if she was saying, are you prepared to suffer for Christ? Everybody could reign with him. Not everybody could suffer with him. And I've had to ask myself these very hard questions. Am I prepared to suffer with Christ? You know what? We are in a phase now where we have been suddenly thrust upon this COVID pandemic drama scene. And you know, this week when this next phase of the lockdown rolled back with everyone, I just felt like if somebody was, and I began to remember all the Left Behind movies that TBN used to show. And all those things that when we see Christians suffering and their movement limited and they can't gather to pray and they have to do this, have to do that. I need a mask to buy. And it was so way out. But suddenly, the Bible said, will come upon you like a woman in travail. 2019 came suddenly and everything just made a flip. And, you know, the persecution that we know that is near for the church, it is inevitable. The ability just to be able to say that Jesus Christ is Lord without and to be able to boldly say he is the way is being threatened. We see what's happening in North America and America, not in Russia. But these are countries that were once the bastion of freedom, you know, the right to free speech. And how many pastors in Canada have been affected. So it's coming home. And I think this is a reality that every Christian must face. As we go therefore into the world, how do we preach this unadulterated, uncompromised gospel? And for us, we are out there as the church, we're giving water, we're giving food, we're giving clothes, and it's an opportunity for us to connect and to be Jesus.
Oh, that question to all of us. Are we prepared to suffer for the gospel's sake? You know, and you said it right.
That's an emotional.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tough. I think we need to take that. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, before we wrap up, Avi, I want you to also shed some light on the work that you're doing here in Trinidad and Tobago. Your recent project, building that, you know, transition home. Take us into the...
Well, a lot of people say we're the Haiti people, and there are a lot of things we do internationally. We started right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We were birthed out of tragedy in Maloney, East Trinidad. And we initially thought that God will keep us within the at-risk communities in Trinidad. He has chosen fit to expand our borders, and we give God all the glory that we are a homegrown international relief agency. We're not a branch of any international. This is like home. Anything else, ITNAC is a branch of ITNAC Trinidad. ITNAC Haiti, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Kenya, wherever.
Starts right here.
It started here, and we thank God for that. So this is our Jerusalem. We purchased a property in 2013 and 2014. You know, God provided $2 million. We got it. 2020, in the midst of a pandemic, we heard God say, go for it. I know that's mad people thing. That's mad people thing,
Making a difference.
One life at a time. People in need of transitional housing in Trinidad and Tobago is a serious thing.
Talk to us.
It's serious. People calling and saying that they're on the promenade. The police will call and say we have a mother on the promenade with 3 children. Another mother living in a car. And I even thought it was her car. It wasn't her car. It was a friend who was in her car because that's all he could do to sleep in.
Jeez.
And so we embarked on Project Home Base, and the odds were against us. We were in the midst of COVID, our COVID response, where we gave 5,000 plus hampers, over 2,000 cooked meals, and another 1,000 at Christmas. We were also parallel running a campaign to raise $2 million to get this property. And the property, glory be to God, it's an A-class property. In fact, I told them the other day, I say, listen, it's better than me. Me, even if I have a granite counter, I buy cheap tiles for my counter. Can't believe I'm not granite. You know, we've created a proper space for them, AC. You know, you've seen it, Marlon. Really good quality place that people can come, a safe place to call home. So we've transitioned about 6 families and 1 individual already. Between last year. Our vendors were very kind to us. We just made the 20% down payment and they handed us key. That is God. Wow. I know we thank God for them and that favor. We did not keep our 90-day capacity that we wanted to finish, but we went a little longer and, you know, they were graceful. We thank God for that again, and we were able to house persons. And I turned 50. March 16th, I've got my Project 50 that the last 2 weeks we kind of like, but I want to believe that God have this under control. Yeah. So we put my Project 50, every year for my birthday, I dedicated to a project. And this year was to do the City Outreach Center, where we have a piece of land in Port of Spain, in East Port of Spain, and the first phase is the mobile kitchen. And I'm so excited about that mobile kitchen. I can't tell you how excited. Wow. Right? We've always carried meals to the community, but we could just leave early in the morning, cook the meals, get the people and them hot thing. You know, you could do different things. If there's a flood, we just pull up and we cook. So that's $150,000. So I've been asking my friends to give $50. Of course, the last two and a half weeks, we kind of shelved the emphasis because we're focusing on St. Vincent. But we need to honor that commitment to purchase it because the vendor, again, has been gracious to us. So if you're listening and this soup kitchen is something that really impacts you, the City Outreach Center is in the city of Port of Spain. Cities are important to God. So when we want Charlotte Street, people would come, they'll get clothes, they'll get food, but there's no place to bathe. So we're going to put showers, mobile showers. Again, they can come, they can take a shower, change their clothes, get fresh clothes, get counseling, barbers to do haircuts, and then they'll do the bus. The other thing that I really want to do, I don't know when I'll do it, but I really want to do it, and of course we have to get permission from the government. I thought it was way out. Today my sister Kerry and Duncan tapped me in the baby box. Okay. To find a place where people can drop their babies safely. I always try to figure out how it could work because I've never seen it. I didn't hear about it before. So the first time we would have had a baby being found abandoned, I remember saying to myself, oh gosh, I wish I could have a box. And then somebody said, no, I said, no, it's way out. And one of my friends, Nicole, when Nicole said Winchester, she said, no, it's not way out. No, it has happened somewhere in the States. And this morning, somebody tagged me. It's like, for me, it's like if I'm at the end of one thing, then God prepares me for the next. Yeah. And the baby box is the next thing. But of course, because of our laws, we'll have to see how that would work within the confines of Trinidad. So Pastor Lee, he saved 1,594 or 1,596 babies. Wow. He has his building, and there's a little space. You take your baby, you open the flap, you rest the baby. When the baby rests in the baby box, there's an alarm that is triggered. And he comes and he gets the baby. And his experience, a lot of people, their journey is birthed out of something that touched him. He had a baby that I can't remember the baby lived, but the baby had special needs and a lot of challenges. So he spent months in the hospital with his baby, and then he saw people who were abandoning their children, leaving their children, that kind of thing. So he came with the baby box, and he actually nurtures the babies. He tries to count, if he gets in contact with the mothers, counsel them. So you just rest your baby. And he comes and he takes the babies and he's saved. And I was saying today, oh my God, who is to know the stories of those 1,594, 1,596 babies? How their lives have impact. I mean, like, do you know what's the worth of that in eternity for that man? So it's all about eternity. You know, it's the eternal lives of God. And that's something, but I don't know. I'll have to, you know, discuss it with
there's a lot of things we still have to do.
How the laws of the land work. But I think if people have ideally we don't want them to be involved in illicit sex and get pregnant out of wedlock. But it doesn't matter. Once an egg and a sperm meets, the conception is legitimate. It is real. It is how God designed that life. So we're not tagging people and calling them bastards and all that kind of thing. No. And once the baby is here, we want that child to know that it's love. It's expected as a space and a place in the earth. So that is something that, you know, that's like, you know, no baby being found in no dump or no thing. You just bring your baby and nobody's here to judge you. So that's something I would like to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of this time. So Avi, I want you again to tell people how they can get in contact with Is There Not a Cause, all your handles, accounts one more time so that we don't want to forget that we too can work partner with them as they are on the ground. Yes?
Okay, so we have our page, ITNAC is the cause. On Facebook, you can look there. I'm ashamed I don't know the IG handle too much, but you can
That's
Google
fine.
us, ITNAC. We bank with Republic Bank in Trinidad and Tobago and the First Citizens Bank, and all of the accounts are in the name of Is There, Not a Cause. And you can call now 330-GIVE, 330-GIVE, or 704-BASE. 704-BASE, and the Trinidad area code 1868. We have a web page. We've got a GoFundMe as well. ITNAC Sufa response in relation to this. Go on the page, see how you can support, see how you can donate. You know, today somebody called me and she said, I have a 10-ton truck and a driver. That's a big deal because a load of that 10-ton truck from here to from the port to where we are is a cool $1,000, $1,500.
Yes.
So money that we don't have to spend under our delivery cost of aid, we are continually investing in looking taking our time to see how we can get the best bang for delivery.
Yes.
Because if you have to pay $1,500 for a truck, then you have to pay this, and you have to pay that, then your money gets eaten up.
Resources,
so, you know, that is another way you can support. Volunteers need to eat, transport for volunteers from places, safety boots, whatever it is, people can do something to make a difference, and we are asking you to please do what you can.
Yes.
Is there another cause? Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome. Thanks
on
for having
set. Yeah, definitely. And on our Facebook page, PRVM Performing Arts Academy, you can see all our information as well, where you can cash up, you know, send your the donations, tell us how we want to get stuff done, and we will definitely get it on to Avi and the team. So thank you so much for this special edition here at Savvy Singers TV.
I can't sing though.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Until next time.